Welcome to this next week. This week we have really just two major things going on. We have finished Unit 2, so we are going to have Unit 2 journal assignment, but your other big assignment is going to be your first test for this class. So the past few weeks have been leading up to this test, and all the material that we've covered has been helping you prepare for the test. So as long as you've been completing your work, and most of you have, you should feel pretty prepared for the test. So I'm going to discuss a little bit about the journal assignments and give you a little more information also about our first test. All right, so I wanted to go into a little detail about the journal assignments. And I wanted to be very specific in what I'm looking for in those assignments. So after every unit, you are required to do a journal assignment, and it's really just kind of a debriefing of all of the topics that we covered. An opportunity for you to reflect on what you learned. So in the assignment, it tells you very specifically what to write for every paragraph. So the instructions outline everything that you should include in your journal assignment. The very first sentence of the journal assignment is a list of the topics that was covered in that unit. So I go ahead and list all the topics that we discussed. And then after that, the instructions say to write a reflection from this unit that includes 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph should discuss the main ideas of this section. So in the very first paragraph, you are writing a list of everything that we talked about. So your first paragraph should start by saying, in Unit 1, some of the topics we covered were, and list all of those topics. And then it says the second paragraph should discuss the points or the topics that you found to be most critical. Make sure when you're answering this that you're answering things that are, or you're talking about things that are critical to you. And critical means important. Okay, so your second paragraph should begin, the topic that I found most critical was blank, and then you would elaborate for the rest of the paragraph. So every single journal assignment should be at least 4 paragraphs, each paragraph 3 to 5 sentences, and every single paragraph should answer those prompts that I gave you in the instructions. So I wanted to really clarify what I'm looking for. And also there is a rubric in the assignment. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you will see the rubric for the journal. And they're the same for every journal. But it tells you exactly how the points are broken down and how you could receive full marks. So as long as you're discussing 3 or more topics that we covered in the unit, then you'll get full credit for that. If you're writing 4 paragraphs and each paragraph has 3 to 5 sentences, you'll get full marks for that. And if you don't have a lot of grammar or punctuation errors, then you'll get full credit for that part of the rubric too. And that's how you get a full 20 points for each journal. So make sure you take time to read the instructions and also to look over the rubric if you're interested in getting the best grade for your journal assignment. Okay, so now I want to talk about the test and how to prepare for the test. So the test is going to be pretty much everything that we've covered up to this point, and that includes things that were covered in the syllabus, things about the Wildcat Way. We talked about grit, also due process. You watched a video on college success, the 8 habits of how to be a successful student. You did the Cat Country Guide scavenger hunt. You learned about email etiquette and how to write a proper email. This past week, we talked about campus resources, and you also learned about financial aid and some of our policies regarding financial aid. So what I've done is I've done a little campus resources recap. There is a document in this week's module that outlines all of the resources that were talked about and discussed in the other groups, maybe not something that was mentioned in your group, so you'll have an idea of all of the resources that we offer on our campus. In this week's module, I'm including the answer key to the financial aid worksheet that you should have completed. So those 2 documents, the campus resources and the financial aid worksheet, that's going to be where I pull a lot of questions for the test. Also, Cat Country Guide. Make sure you're familiar with all of these documents. So this test is not a proctored exam. You can take this at your house. It is a timed exam though. You have 45 minutes to complete this. So that means you're not going to have time to look up every single answer for this test. So it's important that you know the topics and you review all of these things beforehand, because you're not going to have time to click through your modules and go look through everything and find the answers. Okay, so just make sure that you do study. All right, so I think I've covered everything for this week. If I've missed anything, I will upload another video and put it in the class announcements. So just be sure to keep an eye on that. If I need to tell you about anything, I will put an announcement up there, or I will send you an email. All right, so good luck this week, and I'll see you next week.